Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Before this video starts, I just want to give a shout out to, of course, my wonderful members. The Battle of Paper Official, Jesse HOH, Plush Anime Game Adventures, Enchanted Stones, Vanilla Beans, Spacey Demoto, NASA YT, Jster, Levi OC, and David Hero. Thank you guys so much for the extra support. Now back to the video.
And even now blue is always here, and even now blue it shines so clear. I don't need a prayer or even words to say. No matter what I do, I'll never reach your answer. Colors of summer are fields on my heart, and rolling my down from my cheeks is the silent love to start. The words I have for you are stuck, it just feels like a curse that I can't contain. Will the two of us meet again? I wish I told you back then. My hands will be watching every time you rise with this galaxy so fast about me.
Hey YouTube, it is I, TDI Fan 2024, and welcome to another video. In this video, I will be ranking the Total Drama winners from worst to best. This is all based on my opinion, and you're probably thinking, how will I be ranking these winners, like based on what? Well, allow me to explain. There's a couple of factors as to how I'll be ranking these characters based on their win. Well, of course, it's based on their win, not based on the character overall, not based on my preference of the character or anything. But it's going to also be based on if I feel like they deserved to win, if I feel like there could have been anybody else that would have been a much better replacement than the character themselves. And honestly, well, of course, my personal opinion on the character will come in play, but it won't be that big of an issue for the ranking. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's overall based on how I feel like if they should have won, if they are ranked pretty low on the list, that will most likely be because I felt like their win was not that as deserving, or there could have been somebody else that won, even if it was like someone that's in the finale or someone that didn't even make it to the finale at all. That's how I'll be ranking these winners. And as you can see, I'm not going to be ranking the canon winners alone. I'm going to be ranking both winners because, you know, some of these winners, it's really hard to tell who is canon and who isn't. Even though Owen, Priya, and Wayne are pretty much the canon winners in their respective seasons, I'm still going to be ranking the alternate winners as well from those seasons, except for the reboot, because the reboot there was no alternate winner, which sucks, but hey, it is what it is. Although I might even go into detail on who I would have chosen to be the alternate winner in those seasons if there was an alternate winner. Anywho, with that said, let's just get on with the ranking. And of course, this is all just my personal opinion, so there's going to be a lot of questionable decisions, but this is just how I think and how I feel about these winners overall. And I would love to see how you guys would rank these winners down in the comment section down below. Let's have a nice chat about this discussion down in the comment section. With that said, let's get on with the ranking.
Okay, let's do this.
This shouldn't come to a shock for most of you, because if you know me, if you saw my last ranking video, which was ranking the seasons, then you already know how much I don't even care at all about Beth as a character. And obviously, I did not care about her win at all in Total Drama Action. Of course, if I were to choose who was the canon winner of that season, obviously I'm going to go with Duncan. Beth was just such an odd pick to even be a finalist. Now, of course, after rewatching the season, I will admit I do somewhat see how she made it to the finale. Like, she did do her stuff. She wasn't just there to be filler. She did some stuff. I will give her credit for that. But, like, legit, anybody else in the top 6 would have been a better choice. Well, besides Owen, when he came back in the game, he would have definitely not been a good choice to be in the finale again. But like, come on, Harold, Lindsay, even Courtney, like I would have taken any of those 3 to be in the finale rather than Beth. And any of those 3 would have been a lot more interesting to go up against Duncan. But Beth, like, come on, what were the writers thinking? Now, I might just be overreacting because like I said, I know that she did do some stuff. So she does have at least some valid reasons as to why she became a finalist, but come on, Lindsay versus Duncan, Harold versus Duncan, Courtney versus Duncan, that would have been a lot more interesting, and I guarantee it would have had a lot, or it would have gotten a lot more positive feedback from many of the fans. Like, I know Total Drama Action overall is a controversial season. Some people like it, some people don't. I guarantee a lot of people would be more reasonable and would like this season a lot more had any of those other finalists or finales happen rather than just Duncan versus Beth. Beth was just such an odd choice, and honestly, like, no. And besides, I can legit guarantee that the writers didn't originally plan for Beth to be a finalist, because if they planned for her to be a finalist in the start, then how come they completely sidelined her in the next season in World Tour? Like, she was completely sidelined. She didn't even come back at all. So what was the point? Anyway, that's just how I feel about Beth as a finalist. I feel like she was just such an odd choice and such a bad choice overall, and that's why she's dead last in this ranking.
Okay, let's do this. Oh,
Now, this is certainly a hot take, but in my honest opinion, I just did not care about the police cadets that much for me to truly enjoy their win. Now, I know many of you will most likely consider them to be the canon winners of the Redunculous race, but I was completely fine with the Surfers winning. And to be honest, out of the 3 finalists in this season, or in this spinoff, I should say, I would have much rather had the Surfers be the canon winners. And I know for many of you, you're probably thinking, why? Like, the Surfers, they rejoined like 2 episodes ago. How are they deserving to be the canon winner? Well, of course, opinions are opinions, and like I said, I just didn't really care about the police cadets. Yeah, they were a fine enough team, but overall, they were just not one of my favorite teams. I didn't really have much interest with the team. They didn't really interest me that much, and obviously, it did make sense why they were in the finale. Like, they were one of the teams that were actually, like, prepared for doing all these shenanigans in the Redunculous race season. But still, like, overall, I just didn't really have much interest in these 2 characters, specifically MacArthur. I found her to be one of the most annoying characters of the season, so obviously I wasn't that impressed to see her and Sanders make it to the finale. And yeah, of course, you can say that their win is more deserved, but in my opinion, I just did not care for them that much, so that's why I can't really see it in that way. And that's why they're just so low in this list, because, like I said, I just can't really care much about the team. So when I saw their win, I just didn't care much at all. And that's why they're at number 15 on this list.
okay, let's do this.
14th is the Surfers. Now, you're probably thinking, you were just talking so much about how you preferred the Surfers winning, yet they are still pretty low on this list. Well, of course, the one major factor that does drag this team down a bit is the fact that they did get eliminated, and they did come back like 2 episodes ago, or 2 episodes prior before the finale, and then they win. So many people don't really like how a team that just wasn't there for the entire run, or they left and returned, so they missed a bit of the competition, and then they still win. Like, that doesn't really seem fair compared to the other team who's been there like since the beginning. But me personally, I just can't seem to hate the fact that the Surfers win. Like, this team was one of the most likable and funny teams in the entire race. And obviously, like, seeing Jeff win was awesome. Like, you can't just hate Jeff, right? Like, he's one of the GOATs. He's one of the OG GOATs. So him winning was awesome. And Brody, like, I mean, he's pretty much a second Jeff, but still, seeing them win was pretty awesome. Although the fact that they got out and returned does drag their win down a bit for me. But other than that, them winning was awesome, and like I said, I would much rather have these 2 win than the Police Cadets and the Ice Dancers, in my honest opinion. So I was happy to see them win back then when this first premiered, and I'm still happy to see them win now after rewatching the season. So yeah, although I do like them overall, their win was just kind of questionable, but still, I would much rather see them win, and that's why they're here at number 14 on this list.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoa.
13th place, I'm going to have to give to Zoe. Honestly, Zoe and Mike overall, their win just wasn't great. Although, why Mike gets the upper hand is because he was pretty much the main character of this season. So it makes sense why he would win in the first place. But Zoe. Feel however you feel about her. I still like her more than most people, but I will admit her win this season was just not great. She was just there for filler, and of course she was just there to keep the Mal plot going and all that jazz, and it was just not great. Like, she was dumbed down very, very harshly, and honestly, like, she did not even deserve to make it this far. They could have had anybody else in that season. I would even take Scott to be in the finale. At least Scott had a lot more to do than Zoe. But, you know, she won, and it was just not memorable at all. So you're probably thinking, why is she ranked higher than the Surfers then? Well, at least she was there the entire season. That's a factor that I got to put in for this ranking. And also, I didn't say this at the beginning, but the character overall, how they did in the respected season that they won, that also comes to play when I'm thinking of how I rank these winners. And at least Zoe was there since the beginning. So, and she did do a couple stuff. She did help her team win a few challenges, and she did win her few immunity challenge on her own. So there's that. But overall, her win was just bland, and that's why she's at number 13 on this list.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoa.
12th place, Mike. Obviously, like I said when I was talking about Zoe's win, these two just, like, their win just wasn't great. But Mike gets the upper hand because they showed, and they really showed, how much of a main character Mike was in this season. And obviously him making it to the end did make sense, although it wasn't that much deserved, because Mike was, like, not even there for the most part. It was all Mal. And yet he still won. So, that was kind of meh. Well, this season, this season is just messy to begin with. So, of course, these wins weren't going to be great. But, like I said, Mike had the plot armor, so obviously his win gets a few extra points because of how much of a screen hog he was this season. And overall, I just preferred Mike's win. And I'm pretty sure his win was the canon win of this season. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is the canon win, at least here in the US. But yeah, Mike, his win was just very obvious, which ruins the touch, because usually you would have some unexpected wins. Like, I will say, Beth's win was unexpected, so there's that. But yeah, Mike overall, his win was just not great. The season wasn't great, so yeah, 12th place for you, Mike.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoa.
This may be a hot take, but 11th place is going to go to Wayne, the most recent Total Drama champion. I know many of you loved Wayne's win. I think that his win wasn't bad. Of course, like, his win was great. But, there's a but. I just would have rather seen somebody else in that finale win, but that's just because of my preference. Honestly, Wayne's win kind of came out of nowhere, but the same could be said for Owen, although, Owen has more of a nostalgic factor to him. But yeah, Wayne, he's a great character. Like, his win doesn't ruin the fact that Wayne's a great character, and his win was still great nonetheless. It's just that I would have rather seen anyone else win, like Caleb, for example. I feel like Caleb had a lot more potential, and come on, imagine if he did win, going from first boot to winner, like, never been done before. That would have been great. Yet, of course, Wayne won, and I'm not totally, like, upset about it. Of course, I liked his win, but I don't like it as much as most people do. And yeah, like I've already said why. Wayne's win was great, but not as great as some of the other wins that are about to come up. So that's why I'm going to have him at number 11 on this list.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoa. Story of the
Top 10, and starting the top 10 is Sky. Now, Sky was like Priya before Priya. She was already determined. She had the skills. She was fully prepared to become the next Total Drama champion. And she did, although you can tell, if you watch the finale, you can tell that Sean was the true winner of the season. He was the canon winner because everything that happened in Sean's finale happens here, except the only thing is Sky wins instead of Sean, but everything else was the exact same. So you can definitely tell that the writers wanted Sean to be the canon winner rather than Sky. So obviously I can't have her be ranked higher than Sean, but I still liked her win a bit. Not really, because the season was just bad overall, and the finale was a very hard watch. But yeah, Sky as a character overall was great, and it did make sense why she became a finalist and eventually won in this alternate finale. But of course, the other 9 that are above her are just a lot better in my opinion, so that's why Sky is at 10th place on this list. And this is based on her win. Not as a character, but based on her win.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoa.
Ninth place, I'm giving it to Lightning's win. It's pretty much the same as the Pacateo finale, where everything else is pretty much the same. The only difference is Cameron falls before Lightning does, which leaves Lightning to becoming the champion. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure Cameron is the canon winner, and most people would have had Cameron as the canon winner. But Lightning overall is just such a funny character, and he did do quite a bit in this season. Like, he did make a great pull having Zoe get out rather than Cameron in the last episode. Like, I'm pretty sure no one expected that. But then again, or at least it was, people would see it as a smart move, because obviously people did not expect Cameron to actually be able to beat Lightning, yet he did, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, Lightning's win overall, it was pretty much the same. It has the same issues as the Pacateo finale, where you can tell that there wasn't much effort put into it. But overall, his win was pretty great for the most part. And you just can't really hate the guy. Well, I mean, I guess you can hate the guy, but if you are a Lightning fan like myself, then you just can't hate his win, and that's why he's at number 9 on this list.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoa.
This might be shocking because if you guys know, I do love Alejandro a lot as a character. He was one of my favorite, and he still is one of my all-time favorite Total Drama characters. So you're probably thinking, why is he ranked not so high when it comes to his win? Well, his win has the same faults as Lightning and Sky, where you can tell that his alternate win was not meant to be the canon win, as most of the stuff that happens here happens in Heather's win. And obviously Heather's the canon winner, or at least to most of us, she is the canon winner. And his win was just like bullshit. Like the way he won wasn't great. But of course, you have to give him where credit is due. Alejandro played the game like a snake. He played everyone like they're a bunch of fools. He was a really great antagonist and a great player overall. So it makes sense why he was in the finale, and I guess it would also make sense why he had some people root for him. But obviously, his win was just not great. The way he won wasn't the greatest way for anyone to win. Like Heather threw that, what do you call that? I guess the sacrifice or whatever you want to call it. But when they said, oh, you actually threw Alejandro, so that means he win. Like, no, that's not how you give this character justice for his win. That is not a great win for Alejandro Bro Muerto. So of course I can't have him be ranked any higher than this because of the way he won. But as a character and as an antagonist, he's still great. But yeah, I have to place him here at number 8 on this list.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoa.
7th place is going to Sean. Obviously, many of us were rooting for Sean to win, and he's another character that you didn't even expect would make it to the finale and actually win. Like, Sean's the type of character where you can see him get out around the same placement like a Tyler and Noah from World Tour. Like, you would see him get out pretty early, or maybe he would make it to merge, but then get out early and merge. Yet he was able to make it to the finals and win. So that is great. And Sean is a great character overall. So he totally deserved his win. And he totally deserved that happy ending in the end with him and Jasmine. It was great. These two characters are honestly some of the best things to come out of the crap that is Total Drama Pacateo Island. So seeing Sean win was great. And obviously that's why he's up here on this list at number 7.
Okay, let's do this. Oh,
Sixth place is going to Priya, the winner of the first season of the Total Drama reboot. Obviously, Priya was just such a wonderful written character from the first season, and her winning makes sense. She was training her entire life for this moment, so her winning makes sense. While, yes, it was also quite obvious that she was going to win, it's not enough for me to not, still like her win, because her win was great. Although Bowie winning would have been great too, but of course, yes, Priya was the winner, and she was a great winner. Like, she deserved it. She had the skills, she was determined, and it was very satisfying to see her win, which is also why she is ranked at number 6 on this list.
Okay, let's do this.
Starting the top 5, we have Cameron, the brains of the Brain vs. Brawn finale from Revenge of the Island. Cameron's win was obviously a whole lot better than Lightning's win, because it's really rare to see the underdog make it to the top and win, especially Cameron. He played some tactics. He played like he wanted to play. He was fair. He was honest. He was even able to get rid of some of the heavy hitters like Joe. And of course, Lightning in the end. So of course, Cameron is a true GOAT, and his win was just so satisfying. Like, you would never see a character like Cameron, or you would never think a character like Cameron would even have what it takes to make it to the finale in Total Drama. Yet Cameron proves everyone wrong, that even the underdogs have what it takes. So seeing Cameron win was awesome, and I still love his win, and he's just a great character overall. So obviously I'm going to have Cameron in the top 5. I just can't rank him higher than that, because I think the other 4 wins are a lot more memorable and more better in my personal opinion. But still, Cameron's win was great, and it was a really nice breath of fresh air to see someone like Cameron taking the W, and that's why he's at number 5 on this list.
Okay, let's do this.
Top 4, and I just realized the top 4 are the final 4 from Total Drama Island. Weird. Anyway, starting it off is Heather, who won Total Drama World Tour. Obviously, Heather was the semi-anti-hero of the season. She was the one character who already saw through Alejandro's charm and knew how he was playing. She knew that Alejandro was being her, but like a lot worse, and she was the one that had to take him down, even if she did fall for him during the process. But yeah, Heather's win was very satisfying, because for all the Heather fans who were still supporting her, who were behind her back, who had her back since the beginning of the entire show, and seeing her win must have been really great for those people, because like, I know Heather has her fans. I like her too. I think she's, well, other than Alejandro, she's probably the greatest antagonist. And seeing her win was great. And of course, the way they handled her win in the season was great overall, because it's also quite rare to see the villain win too, even though Heather wasn't really the true antagonist of this season, but she is one of the best antagonists of the show overall. So seeing her win was great. And yeah, she deserved it for 100% in World Tour. So that's why she's number 4 on this list.
Okay, let's do this.
Third place is going to the bad boy himself, Duncan. Now, of course, many of you would probably see him as overrated or underrated, however you want to see Duncan these days. I still like him to bits, and obviously I loved his win. Of course, I would take his win over Beth's in action, and seeing him win was awesome, because he was honestly robbed in Island. I would have much rather had Owen got out rather than Duncan in that one episode. And honestly, a finale between Duncan and Gwen would have been really cool if you really think about it. But of course, he got the W in season 2, and it was nice because, he's one of the fan favorites, even still to this day. So seeing him win was great. and he's just such a memorable character, and his win was way more memorable than Beth's win back in action. So obviously he's going to be this high on the list, and obviously him winning was deserved. But of course the top 2 wins were just way more memorable, and yeah, you'll see how I rank them. But yeah, Duncan, his win was great, and that's why he solidifies the 3rd spot on this list, or the top 3rd spot. He's in 3rd place and all that jazz.
Okay, let's do this. Oh,
The runner-up spot has to go to Gwen, our favorite goth girl from Total Drama. Now, many of you are probably thinking, what? Gwen should have been number 1. I know a lot of people really did like Gwen winning rather than Owen winning, and I definitely respect that. Like, these two are definitely the top 2 winners. But obviously, Owen's win was the canon win and the most memorable win, in my opinion, but we'll get to him in a second. Let's talk about Gwen. Gwen definitely deserved her win here. Like, seeing her win was great. She's one of the most realistic characters here. Like, when it's just Gwen being Gwen, not the whole love triangle and emotional bits of Gwen, but when it was just Gwen being Gwen, and also her, like, what she was planning to do with her money was way more realistic than what Owen planned to do with his money. So there's that. But yeah, Gwen is just such a well-written character, at least here in Island. So seeing her win was awesome, and obviously she deserved it. So she's taking the runner-up spot, and we already know who's taking the top spot here.
okay, let's do this. Oh,
Come on now, it's obvious. Taking the top spot is the GOAT himself, is the very first champion, Owen. He's also another character that you wouldn't really expect or normally expect win a competition like show like this, because it rarely happens. The party boy usually never gets the last laugh. Yet, it's different this time around, because as you can see, the party boy does get the last laugh, Owen. Obviously, we already know how much of a creator's pet he was and still is. I mean, he got his very own cameo in the reboot. But yeah, Owen, I mean, his win was just great. Seeing him win was awesome. And yeah, what's left to say? He's the very first winner. He's iconic. His win was great. And obviously, you just can't seem to hate him. He's such a lovable dude. So seeing Owen win was great. It was awesome. And it was a very nice send-off to the first GOATed season, that is Total Drama Island. So obviously, I had to give the top spot to Owen because it's Owen. Come on. What's not to love about him and his win? So yeah, Owen takes the top spot of this ranking. And that's my complete list of how I would rank the Total Drama winners from worst to best. Obviously, this is just my list, so feel free to agree to disagree, and let me know how you would rank the winners down in the comments section. The next ranking video I'll be making for Total Drama will probably be the finale ranked and the finalists ranked, which will be very similar, but in that video, I'll be discussing how I thought about the finale itself and if I were to swap one of the finalists out. So I'll go more into detail on the finale aspect of these finales and these winners and these characters. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's it for my Total Drama winners ranked. Thanks for watching. Like I said before, let me know your thoughts about this series as a whole and the winners in the comment sections. How would you rank them? I would love to see you guys ranking them down in the comment section. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.